Thank you for clicking on the video. Here today at Nerd Mimic, we are going to do a 100% flip through of a classic D&D Dungeons & Dragons module, Tomb of Horrors, designated S1 Assassin Special, and is authored by the grandfather D&D himself, Gygax. This is a special version, the Deluxe edition, with a green cover. There was an earlier edition that had a monochromatic background and less pictures. And then, of course, this has been done again and again throughout every edition of D&D that I'm aware of, including, of course, edition 5 right now, and part of the Tales of Yawning Portal. Now, the Yawning Portal basically has all the text, but doesn't have all the pictures that you'll see in this booklet. So I think this is still quite a special deluxe set to keep and to show you. Now, there are a lot of other people that have done reviews of this. I'm not going to go over how to play this or anything like that. I think other people have done it better than I have, I will. But I just want to show you these pictures because most people don't show off all the artwork within this module. So before we talk more about that, once again, let's just start at the beginning. This is designated S1. There is 4 in the series. S2, White Plume Mountain, which is going to be part of our free giveaway. I have an extra copy to give out. I'll put a link down below for that giveaway. And then there's S3, the Expedition to Barrier Peaks, and S4, the Lost Caverns. So we'll probably talk about these other 2 later on in the future. So let me set those aside. So when I played this as a kid, I really hated it because I died. And I don't remember specifically where I died. I just know it was sort of a bitter experience, to have your character die. And, it put me off to this module. But over time, I've learned to appreciate it. And growing up and being an adult now and running this one-shot adventure myself, I can really appreciate the work that went into this and how special it is. I think the first thing to realize is this was first created as part of a tournament. And I believe it says here, it was originally used for the official Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Tournament of Origins 1. And it was a big gaming convention. And basically, a lot of people were playing through this game, and a lot of dungeon masters were running it. It was so hard to standardize how they were running it, and that's why they add some artwork. So rather than having someone describe it incorrectly or painting the wrong picture for the adventures, they actually resort to pictures to sort of standardize the adventure. And not everyone, of course, is going to survive the venture. And basically, they wanted to see who survived all the traps and tricks and who came out with the most loot. And so that is why it's basically a meat grinder to whittle out the competition. That's not something I really knew when I was a kid. I couldn't appreciate it back then, but now I can. So with that detail in the way and out of the way, I hopefully you can appreciate what Gygax did for this to make it so special. All right, so when you open up the Deluxe Edition, inside the map cover is a map just on one side of it. It's a small dungeon itself. There's only 33 passageways that are described, or 33 encounters. This opposite picture is sort of denoting where the Tomb of Horrors is located. And you can see the adventure starts out basically, they've been told that there's this tomb containing lots of treasures, and it is run or guarded by a lich, Asur Arak. And when you first start the adventure, you can see there's 1 and 2. These are false entrances, and the true entrance is 3 here. Now, all these have traps, and that sort of sets the mood for the game. where there is a lot of traps, a lot of false doors, secret passageways, all within the tomb, and it sort of sets the tone for the game. It's really done well thematically. That is in comparison to the White Plume Mountain, which was more of a fun house dungeon where a lot of the rooms were not necessarily thematically connected. Once again, as I mentioned, Larry Schick sort of combined all of his dungeon DMing skills and traps from various campaigns into one module. And so that's why it's a hodgepodge of ideas here. But here this was created with a single theme in mind. And so we'll see that when you go to 3. So before we go into each room here, let's do a flip through here. So you got some text laying out the legend and describing the tomb briefly. And then of course you start to get into it and encounter one is already here, the key to the tomb, the false tunnel. And the first couple pages go over the text of the module, and then the rest of it here in the middle, the vast majority of the book actually, they're all pictures. They're all pictures here. And then only in the back here does it continue text. I have a couple more pages, 3 pages only. And that continues the rest of the 33 encounters. So it's really a short module in itself. And once again, this main booklet, which could take off the staples and show to players, is the main draw of this edition. So let's flip it around here. This describes the purpose of it, the illustration booklet. And we get to the next page, and each one has a number, and each number here corresponds to the map. So it really makes it easy for a DM or someone running the campaign to reference it. So here's that false entrance, number 1. And that corresponds to this entrance here. Number 2, that is titled False Entrance Tunnel as well. And then we got number 3 here. And this is the entrance to the Tomb of Horrors itself. There is, of course, text that you would read to the players and adventurers while you were showing them this picture. And there's false doors here, as people may know of. There's this red tile brick road that actually has no discrete purpose other than to confuse players. But there is a hidden message lying around there, and but you don't see it in the picture because, of course, you don't want to give off the clue to the players. And then here is picture number 4. This corresponds to the fresco of the wizardly workroom that is off to the side here. Picture number 5 is the Arch of Mist, and there are multiple arches within the module itself, and all have different magical abilities that can make the players encounter. One of them even changes the sex of the player, so that's a pretty funny trick if you happen to survive that. This is the classic picture, number 6, the face of the Great Green Devil. This has a mouth trap, and there are actually other mouths similar to this, but this first one contains a sphere of annihilation. So those that jump in or try to explore it, well, they're going to be destroyed. So that gives them pause to explore other such openings. But this picture or diagram has been redone multiple times. You might have even seen various incarnations of this himself. So very famous picture there. And then we got number 8 here. This is the gargoyle layer. And then we'll show the next picture here. This is the Great Hall of Spheres. Next, we move on to number 11, the 3-armed statue. Number 12, the trapped false doors. So that would be 11 here, and number 12, sorry, number 11's up there, number 13 is here, and number 12, I must have misplaced it. Where is it? Yeah, right here, the false doors, several of them. Number 13, the chamber of 3 chests, only one of which contains treasure, but all 3 are trapped. Next, well, here's showing one of the traps, and another one, and another one. I forgot about this. I knew they were trapped, but I didn't realize this actually showed the pictures of the traps. So I guess if you were trying to show this off to your players, you may have to actually blot out or photocopy this and just show them this picture. Once again, this is not in the Tales of Yarning Portal, so pretty cool that they went through this trouble. This is Area 14, which is the Chapel of Evil. Flip it around. And this is the infamous slanting passageway. This is called, well, locked oaken door. But once again, it has a weight that tilts and dumps the players into a pit. So that was a very famous trap that I don't remember I survived, probably not. We are moving on to number 18 here, the false crypt. So here, the adventurers, after going through all those secret doors and finding this crypt, which is also behind a secret door, so that's 18 down over here in this room, they think they have actually found the real treasure. And there's this sort of zombie-like creature that is not really the lich itself, and there's some minor treasure in this room. And maybe the players, and especially in tournaments, might think they did it and leave, and might have scored as well as other players that realized this was not actually the real treasure. So that was one cool trick, and that's not the first false ending. There's multiple false endings like that in this module. Number 19 here. This is the laboratory and mummy preparation room. And then moving on to 20 here. This is a huge pit filled with spikes. Obviously the spikes are right there. Number 21, the agitated chamber. There's a secret door here. Look around. 22, that is called the Cavern of Gold and Silver Mist. And then over here, we have another diagram showing where a secret door may be. Room 25 is this large room here off to the side. This is the pillared throne room. Then there's going to be several items there at the top. You can see some cursed gem there. We got a throne here, tempting you with the treasure there on the throne there. And then we're going to move on to area 27, the Chamber of Hopelessness. That's this room right here. Got another diagram within their room. Number 28, the Wondrous Foyer. And here we got another false crypt for the Lich itself. This is called the False Treasure Room. Got the statue there off the side. Getting towards the end here. So 33 is the true crypt. And that is, let's see, where is it? 33, right here. So off in this small little room. And as you may remember, there is multiple treasure in the room. You can see a huge mound of it here. And there also includes a special encrusted jeweled skull. But if they touch that, that spawns the Lich, and they will have to do battle with the Lich, which is a pretty tough battle. I don't think any of my friends that I know of have ever gotten this far, to be honest with you. If you guys have, let me know. Obviously, this module is well known, and most of the details, I can sort of vaguely remember what to do and what not to do. So I don't know how replayable this is. It's probably more of a one-shot experience for any Dungeons & Dragons fan to experience. And hopefully they can appreciate it more than I did when I was a kid. I guess the only thing missing is the back cover here. And you can see that famous icon of room 6 there, and the archway of mist. So this is a very famous area within the tomb itself. So I haven't opened this up in many years, but I was happy to do that today. And hopefully this was fun for you to jog your memory and check out the pictures. For those of you that have never seen this edition, I'm sure these pictures are available online somewhere. So if you could print it out and incorporate it to your campaign, I think that would be great. Or you could always obtain an old copy of the module itself. So thank you for watching that. Everyone have a great night. Keep on adventuring out there.